guys, this is Christian.
And this is Jenny.
And we are ready to Disney.
And here's Gypsy.
And here's Gypsy. So today we're going to talk about some new rules that came into play here in 2019 that affects all the parks and everybody going to them. So sit back and then let's see how these will affect your next vacation. Alright guys, so like we mentioned, this video is going to be about some new rules that went into effect this year. Let's go over the first rule. It came about in March, and for those of you who have booked your vacations before, you know that when you stay on property, one of the Walt Disney World resorts, you can book your fast passes 60 days in advance. But we've started noticing in the last couple of years that even the ones that aren't necessarily the real big rides, the real popular ones, are still kind of filling up.
Yeah.
So Disney realized this too and decided to put something into place. They found out that a lot of people were reserving their resorts, and then at the 60-day mark they were making their fast passes and then canceling the resort reservation, but still able to keep the fast passes. Mm-hmm. And there's no cancellation fee on the resorts when you do it that far in advance. So what Disney decided to do is, if you make your fast passes at the 60-day mark and then you cancel your reservation, it will automatically cancel all your fast passes. So you have to wait until the 30-day mark, just like anybody else not staying on property.
Yeah.
So I agree with that.
I do too. I think it was a long time coming. Well, I mean, it took them a while to figure it out, but once they did, they took action, and I think that's fine.
Yeah, because it's really unfair to those of us who stay on property. That's one of the reasons why we stay.
Pay for a resort. I mean, that's one of the perks of getting a resort and being able to use those fast passes or set them up earlier because we're paying to stay.
Exactly, and if we're paying for that, and that's one of the perks, then it needs to be a perk just for that, like the extra magic hour, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. You know, that's one of the benefits. So I definitely agree. I think it's a good move. Went into effect in March, and this is in 2019. We've now found out there are 3 new rules going into effect starting May 1st of this year in 2019. And you know, kind of want everybody's opinion on it. We're going to give you ours. The first rule that's coming about is the size of the strollers. They're changing that. They're no longer allowed to have 3 child strollers. I mean, the ones that carry
you can't
triple.
have the triple length ones. I don't know about the tandem, but I think that the ones where they're sitting side by side is just ludicrous. That should never even have happened to start with. But
exactly, and so you need to go on the website and find out the exact dimensions and everything. So they're limiting the size. And I believe the ones that are front to back, I think they're letting those be okay. Even the side by side ones. But they have to fall under a certain
size. Yeah, they have to be more umbrella than they are like jogger stroller.
Right,
yeah.
And no more wagons, like the wagons that you can pull the kids around and stuff in.
Yep.
No more of that, which I get it. You know, we're parents and we used to have to push Maddie around and stuff like that. But you know, Disney World's very crowded, and the shops they're very pretty, but they have narrow aisles.
Oh, yeah.
It's hard enough to fit just 2 people passing through there.
Mm-hmm.
Now you add a stroller in the mix, and you have 1 or 2 strollers in the mix that are this size. You have to go all the way around the store just to go down the one little aisle that you want to go down. So agree or disagree with that rule?
Oh, I've always been in favor of that. I mean, just because it is, you know, tight fit everywhere.
Sure, yeah.
Especially on busy days, you know, and you're trying to get somewhere, and those strollers are just everywhere. Yeah, totally. And also that's going to help with parking when you're waiting for a ride, things like that too. Especially when we're still allowing those big motor scooter things. Sure. for whoever wants to rent those. you know, and they'll be less likely to be stuck out in the middle because there's more room in the stroller parking for that.
Right. So again, she agrees. I agree. That's a check mark for that rule.
Yeah.
The next rule that's also going to place May 1st, 2019 is you can no longer bring in to the park ice, specifically dry ice, but they're also saying loose ice. Now, I understand the dry ice. I mean, come on.
I
People
don't
are.
even understand why that's even a thing because that's chemical. That's not even really ice per se. That's
Well, what they do
it's a
is,
science project.
as you know, you're allowed to take in your own food and stuff like that. You can
Yeah,
have
but-
them in small coolers. So they're using people have started over the last couple of years using dry ice to keep all their stuff cool without having to mess with it melting.
But yeah, but even with dry ice, you have to use gloves to touch it. So it being touching your food, don't get me started on that.
I know it's weird, but agree. I don't.
Yeah.
It does not need to happen, guys.
But I'm trying to figure out
it's a safety concern.
Is it with the regular ice? I understand dry ice because again, it's
Yeah,
chemical
because you
and-
open it up, it falls out, and some kid is walking by, sees the smoke coming off of it or the evaporation, going, "Oh,
No, I
that's
mean,
cool."
No, I
Picks it
get
up.
the dry ice thing. I'm talking about the other stuff because I mean, as
Oh,
soon as
sure.
it hits the ground, it melts into a puddle anyway. So I don't.
Well, I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that people they'll take fruit, they'll take things in little sandwich bags, stuff like that, right?
Mm,
So as they're munching on it throughout the day, and as the ice is melting, they go to dump it out. It's either leaking out of the bag, they don't want to carry it around anymore, they want to fold it up, whatever it is, right? So I have a feeling a lot of that has to do with them dumping that water out, either just right in front of everybody, causing slick surfaces that they don't, or maybe even dumping it out in the bushes somewhere, but they're not even taking the trash out of it. They're just dumping it out. So I don't know. Maybe that's it. We haven't really found a real answer on the loose ice because they're still going to sell the loose ice in the cups
yeah,
and the drinks.
exactly. So
I think it mainly targeted the dry ice, but
yeah.
we'll see if we can't figure it out. Matter of
Well,
fact,
maybe it's too
my
many
trip
dry ice
coming
to
up,
start with.
I'm gonna ask one of the cast members about what the deal is with loose ice just to find out.
If they have anything for you, I mean, like I said, I totally get the dry ice thing, but I don't understand the other. But
So the overall ice rule, though, I agree. How about you?
yeah,
Now, the last one that's going into effect, again, May 1st, 2019. As everybody knows, it's been at Disney World before, and for those of you who haven't, each park does have some designated smoking areas. Now, these areas are out of the way. You have to hunt for them, minus, two of them? Two, maybe three, and they're all in Epcot.
mm-hmm.
There's a smoking area on your way from Future World into the Land
Mm-hmm.
Pavilion over in that direction. There's a big water area right there, and there's little benches on each side, and this is on one side of those benches, but you still have to kind of get out of the way. But it's very visible, and you can just accidentally walk through it. I get that, okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's also the one in Italy that is kind of along the main thoroughfare going into Italy. You have to step off to the side by this fountain, but it's a fountain everybody wants to take pictures in front
Yeah.
of. So, all right. Every other smoking spot that I know of, the one at Magic Kingdom over there in between the Storybook Circus and Tomorrowland, that little walkway there by the
Yeah.
railroad track,
That's now gone, I think, because
That
they're
one-
doing
the Tron ride is
Tron
being built.
ride, yeah.
But that one I could see too, because people had to walk,
get
could walk
through
to that path.
direction, sure.
And you don't know until you're in front of it that
And it
there's
was the
smoking
same
around.
way behind the one that used to be there behind Space Mountain. It was the same
Well-
way. You had to walk down that way to get to the circus, and you'd have to walk right through it.
That's what I'm
there.
talking about.
Oh, yeah,
is
yeah.
that path right
Yeah,
there?
yeah, yeah.
So you had to walk through it. Now, granted, it did a little U shape, so you're off in the U, but still, you got to walk right by it.
Yeah.
And so the other one is at Tom Sawyer over there, where you're overlooking Tom Sawyer's Island.
Right.
It's on the back
And
side.
that's my favorite one because they had the rocking chairs and the chessboard, and they had
Exactly.
everything
But
right there.
you had to walk
behind the
down
thunder.
into it.
Yeah.
There is nowhere else to go
Yeah,
there.
it's definitely
So it was on
secluded.
its own.
Yeah.
The two in Animal Kingdom, I mean, you have to have a map to find
Yeah, you
those,
do.
and be a wilderness explorer,
Mhm.
because
Yeah,
those
focus.
are out in the trees,
Yeah.
and these paths that you would not take unless you were specifically going
Looking
there,
for it, yeah.
and they're way out of the way.
Yeah.
So, that being said, I'm not sure why it was so important to finally take the smoking areas out.
Image.
Image, you think?
Image, absolutely. Image.
Well, but you can't. If you just moved a couple of those, no one would ever see it.
They still, I totally understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to show a front, an image that is squeaky clean, and that they don't want that in their parks. Now, mind you, they'll still be designating smoking at the resorts. They'll still be designating smoking outside of the parks.
And
So-
front, and at Disney Springs.
And Disney Springs.
But this includes all 4 major parks, the 2 water parks, and the ESPN Sports Complex.
Yes, at Boardwalk, yeah.
So, to be honest with you, I've spoken to a lot of people. All agree that there didn't seem to be a real good reason to take those out since they're so far away. But I will have to say that's a rule I don't agree with. How about you?
I mean, I'm on the fence with it. I mean, I've been vaping for a long time. I've stopped smoking cigarettes, you know, and it's kind of one of those things where, I could take it or leave it. I mean, but I understand coming from a smoker's perspective that you're in the park 8 hours or more.
Oh yeah,
You know,
an average
and
10 to 13 hours a day.
Band out and band back in to just to have a cigarette.
Well, and
Now, mind you,
imagine
they'll do it, but it's an extra effort. It's an extra move that I think they're gonna lose business, especially now that they're offering alcohol in the parks. They're gonna lose business there because
and you've got a lot of
people
Europeans that come over, and I'm not making fun of any
No, they're
Europeans,
big smokers.
but they're big
yeah.
smokers, and they're
Well,
coming
they-
over here. They're
they
spending
portray that.
they're spending a lot of money,
Yeah.
and their kids know that they smoke.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're saving their kids from it. I don't know. I can take it or leave it as well, but I don't think it would. I don't think it's really been bothering that many people. You guys let us know what you think about all these new rules in the comments below. Let us know. If you have any questions about them, again, ask us. That's it for this vlog today. Just wanted to pass along those new rules. And so anyways, I guess until next time,
Have fun storming the
castle.